Welcome back to Killer Sudoku. In Lesson 8, we'll introduce a very useful solving technique called by the numbers. Step 8, by the numbers. We're going to select each of the result numbers from 1 to 9 to highlight the candidates with that number. We're looking for 3 specific conditions. We couldn't select the 1 because there aren't any ones on the board. When we select the 2, nothing useful is displayed. Point to one of the 3 results on the board which highlights every 3 candidate. Looking at the blocks, every block either has a 3 result in it or has multiple 3 candidates except block 2. There's only a single 3 in block 2, so that square must be a 3. So the first case we're looking for is a single. Any block row or column that contains only one instance of a candidate is a single that can immediately be entered. When we select the 4, nothing useful is displayed. Now skip to the 5s. Start off by going block by block to look at the candidates in each block. We're looking for blocks with all the candidates in a single row or a single column. Block 2 is notable because all the 5s are in the top row in that block and one of the 5s in block 3 is in the same row. But we know that there's a 5 somewhere in the top row of block 2 and there can't be a 5 in the top row of block 3, so the 5 can be eliminated. So that's the second case we're looking for. When checking block by block, if the highlighted number is in only one row or column in a block, that number can't be in the same row or column in an adjacent block. Block 3. Now we're going to look row by row. We're looking for rows with all the candidates in a single block. Row 7 is notable because all the 5s in that row are in block 8 and there are more 5s in the other rows of block 8. Since we know that there's a 5 somewhere in the top row of block 8, there can't be a 5 in the other rows, so those 5s can be eliminated. So that's the third case we're looking for. When checking row by row or column by column, if the highlighted number is in only one block in a row or column, that number can't be any place else in that block. Now that we know what we're looking for, let's go to 6. First, we'll search block by block. We're looking for block with the 6s in one row or one column, and then we'll check the adjacent blocks to see if we can eliminate any 6s. Also, we're always looking for singles. Block 2 has what we're looking for. All the 6s are in the bottom row, so we can eliminate the 6s from the bottom row of block 1. Look at the 15 sum in row 2. Since the 1-5 double adds up to 6, the third square must be a 9. Always be on the lookout for doubles or triples which are part of a larger sum. Block 2. Starting over again with the 6s. None of the other blocks have 6s in a single row or column. Now the rows. Except for rows 1 and 2, the other rows have their numbers in multiple blocks. Now the columns. All the columns have their numbers in multiple blocks. Let's go to the 7s. Blocks 1, 2, 6 and 8 have their numbers in a single row or column, but there's nothing to eliminate. Now the rows. Rows 1, 2 and 8 have their numbers in a single block, but there's nothing to eliminate. Now the columns. Column 8 has its number in a single block, but there's nothing to eliminate. Let's go to the 8s. Block 7 has its numbers in a single row, so we can eliminate the 8s in that row of block 8. Now the rows. Rows 1, 8 and 9 have their numbers in a single block, but there's nothing to eliminate. Now the columns. Column 1 has a single 8, so we can enter the result. Let's go to the 9s. Blocks 2 and 9 have their numbers in a single row or column, but there's nothing to eliminate. Now the rows. Row 1 has its numbers in a single block, but there's nothing to eliminate. Now the columns. Column 9 has its number in a single block, but there's nothing to eliminate. Complete the sum in block 2. Balance the 10 sum in row 4. Balance the 9 sum in row 3. Balance the 17 sum in row 8. 17 minus 6 leaves 11. Now we're ready to enter the next phase of puzzle solving. In this phase, we'll use techniques we've already learned but without putting restrictions on ourselves. Later on, we'll return to the rule of 45, but first let's revisit balancing the 3s. Initially, we looked for 3s with 2 and 4 or 3 and 3 candidates. Now, forget about that restriction. We're going to balance any 3 that looks promising. Look at the 20 sum in row 5. Using pencil and paper, write 7 8 on the first line, 3 4 6 7 9 on the second line, 4 6 7 8 9 on the third line. The target number is 20. 7 and 3 is 10. Nope. 7 and 4 is 11 plus 9 is equal to 20. Yes. 7 and 6 is 13. Nope. 7 and 7. Nope. 7 and 9 is 16 plus 4 is equal to 20. Yes. 8 and 3 is 11 plus 9 is equal to 20. Yes. 8 and 4 is 12. Nope. 8 and 6 is 14. Nope. 8 and 7 is 15. Nope. 8 and 9 is 17. Nope. Okay, we can delete the 6 7 and the 6 7 8. That's a 3 4 9 triple in row 5. Apply the triple to row 5. Balance the 13 sum in row 3. 13 minus 3 leaves 10. Remember that applying the rule of 45 with 2 crossovers revealed that square 6 and square 9 in block 4 totaled 11. Rebalance those squares. Balance the 5 sum in row 6. This concludes lesson 8. In lesson 9, we'll introduce another new solving technique using the rule of 45 to solve the puzzle.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.